Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all our sahabat Indosat Ooredoo wherever you are. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're staying safe and healthy. Leave down a comment down below of where you're watching right now because I'd like to see where most of our audience are from. I'm pretty sure this morning it's not just our sahabat Indosat Ooredoo who are watching, but everyone in Indonesia probably watching the show right now because last time I heard we have 5K watchers actually. So hi, I'm Natasha Andrea Putri from Indosat Ooredoo, and I will be your host today on the second episode of Indosat Ooredoo Talk. What is Indosat Ooredoo Talk? It is actually a virtual conference where speakers take stage and present ideas and life experiences worth spreading in 54 minutes. Why 54? Because this is our 54th anniversary. How exciting! The talks were revolved around the central theme of 5 years from now. We get to explore and discuss about how life experiences and the current situation shape and build our lives 5 years from now, according to our speakers' esteemed experience and vision. So for today, we get to talk about the topic of people and AI are teaming up. Very hot, interesting topic. With the new technology of artificial intelligence, people are starting to worry about how the labor market will look like in the future. Will my current job still be relevant or will it be automized? This is personally my worry as well. So before we start the sessions, I would like to introduce our guest speakers in this lovely, lovely morning. Today we have Ibu Megawati Ki, who leads the Google Cloud business in Indonesia. Wow, the lady boss. Developing the people, customers, and partner ecosystem. Prior to this appointment, Ibu Mega was the President Director of IBM Indonesia, Vice President of Success Factors for SAP Southeast Asia, Managing Director for SAP Indonesia, Corporate and Enterprise Sales Director for HP Asia Pacific and Japan, as well as other country roles in Dell and Microsoft. Wow, what an extensive resume, huh? She has a passion for developing the potential of her team members and driving them towards aspirational goals together. She believes that IT is a key enabler for people and business to realize their potential and drive the growth for the economy in the country. Her motto is, this is actually my favorite, with passion, you can change the world. Wow, how powerful. So good morning, Ibu Mega. How are you today, Ibu?
Hello, good morning. I'm very good. How are
Hi.
you?
Good, I'm very good. It's a very lovely morning here in Jakarta. How are you? Very good, yeah? Thank you
Very
for
good. Well,
joining us
actually,
this
I'm not
morning.
in Jakarta, just to let you know. I am actually right now in San Francisco. So it's about
Wow, so
8 p.m. right now. But I'm calling in just for you, for Indosat Ooredoo. Thank you for the
thank you very
invitation.
much for your contribution, Ibu Megate. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so alongside, we also have our very own Chief Technology and Information Officer, Pak Medhat El Husseini. Pak Medhat has been involved in telecom industry for more than 27 years. Wow, it's almost my age. He has been a member of senior leadership team in different telecom groups, including Orascom and Vimpelcom, Telenor, Axiata, and currently Ooredoo Group as Chief Technology and Information Officer. In this company, he introduced 3C as the core DNA of his technology team: customer focused, cost optimizations, and competency development, which is now clearly reflected in his team performance in Indosat. Good morning, Pak Medhat. How are you today, Pak?
Good morning, Boo. How are you? I'm doing well.
Good. Good, lovely morning, lovely. Thank you so much, Pak Medhat, for taking your time this morning. Looking forward to your presentation.
Sure. Thanks.
All right. Well, I see both Pamerhat and Bumega and everyone on YouTube now is excited about today's discussions. But before we get into it, I want to let you know that we will have a Q&A session later. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment sections below, and our speakers will be more than happy to answer them. All right, now let's get right into it, to the main part of today's talk. First up, we will be hearing from Pamerhat and his take on people and AI teaming up. Pamerhat, the screen is yours.
Okay. Thanks, Boo. First of all, good morning. Thank you for joining us at Indosat Ooredoo Talk. In this opportunity, I would like to share with you my view about a very exciting topic: how women and AI are teaming up. First slide, please. before that, you talk about Matrix. I'm sure many of you are excited about this. The latest sequel of this Matrix is coming out next month, after 18 years from the last one. What is the Matrix? The Matrix is one of the biggest science fiction movies about the artificial intelligence conflict, the future war between human and AI. Maybe this one of the most extreme views about the future with AI. Initially, humans develop AI to help them perform some task in daily life. But the vision is AI becomes too much intelligent and self-sustaining, develop its own ambition, and they look to their creators, who are the human, as their enemy. Joking aside, more realistically, human may see AI as a threat to future jobs, because definitely AI is more capable to do much more tasks in much less time compared to human being. And honestly, AI now is already taking over some jobs that human previously did. The question is, should we be afraid from AI? Even further, what is the role of human in the future of AI? Next slide, please. Whether we like it or not, AI is already involved in many aspects of our daily life. Starting with your early morning. You wake up, you start to look at social media. All of us has Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And when you start looking for those, for your account, actually those applications use AI to select which post to show to you, based on many parameters. One of them, your past interests. For example, when you do a simple search in Google, AI in the back end help you find what you are looking for, looking at millions of web pages, document over the internet, to come back with the item relevant with your search request. Also, in the office, even on the way to your office, when you got into your car, to find the best way, you start using navigation apps like Google Maps. AI is behind all of this, using a very complex algorithm to analyze tons of data, routes, possible problem in the road, like traffic jam, roadblocks, then to provide you with the most optimum route to your destination. Even when you call for Grab or any app for transportation, AI determines the closest available drivers and assigns them to you. Even during your lunch break, when you would like to order your favorite meal, you would like to go online shopping, AI predict your interest from your previous behavior and your previous choices and suggest to you what do you buy. Even you are back home in the evening and you'd like to relax, you would like to go for a special drama or Korean drama or a certain movie you would like to watch on Netflix, AI also give you suggestions of what movie or what series you may like to watch. When you start now talking about self-driving cars, you are talking also about AI. It analyzes information from cameras, radar, sensor around it and navigate to the destination. Even it is not just analyze previous data, but they predict which object, because the cars is moving next to it another car, and they predict the next car where it will move, turn right, turn left. So this has happened in fraction of second. One thing is common on all of those applications, which is AI. They come driven by the need to add value to us as a human and users, especially for stuff which includes complex tasks to be done very quickly and very accurately. In order to provide such value, tasks that are impossible to be performed by human being, giving the capability of human being. So AI is already here, bringing value to us in so many ways. Next slide, please. What about telco? How telco adapt AI? Today we are talking about Indosat Ooredoo. You know, for as any telco, network is keep growing to cater everyday increasing demand for traffic, for services. Even one customer is served through multiple services: voice, data, application, subscription. Now a lot of multiple dimension in terms of services single customer are demanding from the operator. They demand excellent services, greater customer experience. On top of that, every customer would like to have the most cost-effective services, the most cost-optimum services. What does this mean? Telco must always be on top of their network, their IT, monitoring, analyzing, predicting, anticipating, and acting upon potential issues. We are talking about millions and millions of data points to be monitored and analyzed. It's extremely massive. It's impossible to run efficient, accurate, and error-free operation with legacy and traditional way of work. We are at Indosat set up our digital operating model last year with the aim of enhancing network experience, user enjoying services, and also deliver efficiency in operation, energy use, and cost. To be honest, we start to hear about zero-touch operation. And now advanced network are designed by what is called intent. Zero waiting, zero touch operation, and zero trouble. Even they are predicting the trouble before it is happening. So it is now AI essential tool to be used by telco operator in day-to-day work. After our journey 1 year, we see significant improvement in maximizing and enhancing our network performance and optimizing our costs. Our outage reduced by 22% from the day we started using AI and adapting AI, which means more resilient network. And this reflected in much less customer complaint. We reduce our customer complaint 1 year back to 1/3, and many other achievements in terms of efficiency and the customer experience. AI helped us improving our processes. We can simulate what-if scenario very quickly, which help us make faster decisions. For example, if there are sudden increase in traffic, some change in the mobility, we are able, using AI, to act fast, to predict where and when we need to expand our network efficiently and accurately and guarantee the best experience to our customer. And definitely this reflects in much more experience improvement to our customer and more efficient. So in summary, telcos need AI. Next slide, please. AI can do many things better and more efficiently than human. AI cannot do something without human program it. The AI power is mainly about its speed to execute multiple and the complex task. So it is execute for the purpose are designed for. Yes, we might lose some jobs for AI, especially those repetitive kind of tasks. AI can perform those tasks as much as we explained, much more accurate, much more faster. AI has the capability and the ability to process large amount of data and to make faster decisions based on past data. Something AI has done before, but human is still differentiated. Human has the abilities to solve a problem they never seen before. Human has creativity, things that AI might not be able to have or not programmed it to do. Therefore, I think human and AI need to complement each other. Humans find new opportunity, new problem to solve, new values to be created. AI enhance them with higher speed, higher productivity, higher accuracy. Productivity and value increase make business to grow. This means also more job opportunity. So there are some challenge. Yes, some repetitive routine work kind of jobs will be lost, but again, the creativity and more teaming up between AI and the human being will create more job opportunity. Now the question, next slide please. How to survive in the world of AI? To be honest, it's very hard to compete with AI in speed, in accuracy. But instead, we need to focus on our humanity, on things that make us different from AI. But we can enhance AI, focus on things that human can have natural advantage on AI. In this regard, there are 3 human attributes that I believe we need to have and to develop that can complement AI. First, curiosity. It is what drives human to learn, to know more, to get better every day compared to yesterday. So when we encounter a gap in our knowledge, our interest may be sparked, creating a desire to seek out to fill such a gap. With curiosity, we can find new value that we can bring to customer and society. We can find gaps that we can improve. We can find new problem to solve. Then we partner with AI to take advantage of their capability in processing multiple data, huge number of data, accurately and faster. And then by teaming up by human and AI, we can deliver the best solution. Second is context. Social interaction of human makes us very aware of context, putting things into the right perspectives. There are always things that AI cannot understand when analyzing data because they do not understand the context. What is behind the data? Humans are always need to train AI to understand the context in order to get the best value out of it. And the third one, and I don't think the AI is still way to go about it, the empathy. At the end of the day, all of this about bringing value to human as the users or customers. AI need to interface with human to adapt to human behaviors and emotions. In some cases, human are required to interface with other human to get the most values. For example, AI can make the best diagnosis of an illness from our medical scans, but we would prefer to receive the diagnosis from doctor, not from some robot. We understand the different human emotion better and can explain to other human in the way that based on such emotion. That is empathy. Next slide, please. What about the future? Future is getting more and more digital, and AI is playing more important role in the digital world. But we cannot see AI in isolation to help human to improve our lives. Previously, we talked about how AI is helping Indosat as a telco company to bring more value to customers. Telco also enable AI to unleash its full potential. Together with big data, cloud computing, IoT, automation, AI and telco will be the key enabler of digital economy. These enablers provide an ecosystem, an open platform for innovation across all industries. Innovation for new and better services, innovation for new revenue stream, innovation for the most cost-effective solution. With this platform, business will be able to develop new opportunity in digital economy, opportunity that are maybe beyond our imagination now. For example, not many people see the opportunity that resulted in the launch of Kojak. There were demand for simple bike, Kojak ride, biking us from our home without the need to bargain for the price. On the other hand, drivers most of the time were just idle at the stands, waiting for customer to come. Kojak combines these two with the help of digital tool, and we now have Kojak as one of the biggest super apps in Indonesia, providing services from food delivery, payment, ticket booking, expanding its services to other countries, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, and Philippines. And coming back, the key question at the beginning. Now, we shouldn't be afraid of AI. As human and AI, we are complementing each other to bring values and creating opportunities. And our role is unlock those new opportunities with innovation and imagination. As long as we are willing to commit ourselves to learn and improve and give more focus on the attributes that make us different from AI, but in the same time, we need to work to enhance AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Famed, for your presentation. It's very, very insightful. Now I get to know that our CSAT and NPS has going through the roof, and I'm very certain that one of them is because the technology improvement and the AI involvement in Indosat Ooredoo technology. I'm pretty certain of that. And moreover, also, Pamerhad, you have a very good explanations that we don't need to worry about AI. We don't have to be afraid of AI because we as humans, we have more attributes that is actually distinctive from AI. Very, very good. Thank you so much, Pamerhad, for your presentations. So next up, you're going to hear Ibu Mega, who will share her views on how people and AI can team up. Wow, insights from Google. All right, Ibu Mega, the screen is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. So you'll be rolling the slides, yeah? Okay. So as an introduction, everyone, my name is Megawati Ki, and I'm the country director for Google Cloud Indonesia. It's my real pleasure and privilege to be able to attend this and talk to you about our views, Google's views about AI. I think like what Pak Medhat has spoken, we don't need to be afraid of AI. It's actually something that we need to work with. And in many times when we talk about technology, instead of stopping technology, whereby nobody can do that, we should be able to work with technology because technology is a double-edged sword, and we need to know how to leverage the power of technology to make sure that we improve our lives. So in this discussion today, we will be talking about how Google and Indosat Ooredoo will be partnering together to enable the transformation that is meaningful. What does it mean for the student? What does it mean for the average person on the street, an employee, especially in these difficult COVID times? What does it mean as a housewife, for example? I think these are the transformation that can become useful, become meaningful even more as we leverage this technology. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the idea that we're going to talk about is really two things, right? I like to share, what's the definition of AI? I think just the long word obviously is artificial intelligence. If you do a Google search on it, it actually means in Wikipedia, it's intelligence demonstrated by machines as opposed to natural intelligence that's being displayed by human beings or even animals and stuff. Okay, so it's machine derived intelligence. So like I said earlier, a lot of people are afraid of AI because a lot of sci-fi movies actually about AI taking over the world, machines taking over the world today. So let's see how we're able to work together as human beings using AI to create a better world. So let's see how we're able to do that. And actually, this is happening every day already with Google technology. So if in here, you can see that we have over 9 products which are widely used by a lot of people, including myself and maybe you in the audience, whether it is Google search at the start of it. As you know, is Google's vision is to create a place whereby, to ensure that information is universally accessible. And this has translates to into many products from Google. And here, what we can see is that first, We know about Google.com as a search engine. We can also look at Google Map. I think everybody uses that when you go to places. We also look at Android as one of the most popular OS for phones, right? It is very, very over 90% of use in Indonesia itself. Other than that, we have Play, we have Photos, Gmail, everything else. A lot of this are actually driven by AI, but more importantly, a lot of this are used by billions of users across the world. And Indonesia is one of the most important countries because we have one of the most number of users. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now, so in Google, we are in a very unique position whereby we are able to blend the art, the technology, and we create the value out of this. So some of you have seen like driverless cars. Some of you have seen technology about internet, how we're able to recreate it and make it accessible for people. Some of you have seen drones. And some of you have seen using solar energy, like in a lot of our data centers, we're using clean energy. We're one of the cleanest data energy companies in the world. So when we blend all this together and we're able to create the value for people, I would like to take this opportunity to show a video. And the video is actually quite interesting, whereby you'll see how AI innovation is not only powering people in other countries. We like to show how it has actually empowered a student in Indonesia, a female student in Indonesia is using AI to pursue her education. Let's take a look.
Nama aku Setiap, bisa dipanggil Mamai. Aku kelas 9 SMP. Tentunya aku ingin menjadi ahli bahasa dan seorang dosen bahasa Inggris. Tapi kegiatan belajar di masa pandemi ini untuk aku sendiri agak lebih susah. Orang tuaku juga tidak bisa bahasa Inggris. Jadi, mereka tidak bisa bantu aku kalau kesulitan.
Dia tanya ke orang, ibu kurang paham.
Google Lens memudahkan kegiatan belajar di rumah. Misalnya aku mendapat tugas pelajaran matematik yang bertuliskan bahasa Inggris. Gak hanya translate, dari situ aku juga bisa terhubung dan langsung mencari tahu apa terjemahan dan solusi untuk mengerjakan pelajaran matematika itu. Untuk saat ini aku sedang berusaha keras untuk belajar lebih tekun, lebih rajin. Saya mau menggunakan pengetahuan saya untuk membantu masyarakat. Saya mau jadi anak yang membanggakan orang tua.
Iya, senang. Ibu senang sekali belajar tidak pantang menyerah gitu.
It's always inspiring to see stories like Mamai's. And it brings to life the power of visual information, especially for learning. That's why we brought augmented reality to Search 2 years ago at I/O to help you explore concepts visually up close and in your space. You might remember the shark that joined us on stage. Last year, when many of us first started sheltering in place, families around the world found joy in AR. From tigers to cars, people interacted with this feature more than 200 million times. Now, we're bringing some of the world's best athletes to AR so you can see how they perform some of their most impressive feats right in front of you. Beginning today, you can see how Megan Rapinoe juggles a soccer ball.
Nama aku Setiap, bisa dipanggil Mamai. Aku kelas 9 SMP. Tentunya aku ingin menjadi ahli bahasa dan seorang dosen bahasa Inggris. Tapi kegiatan belajar.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. Apologies to the viewers for the technical issue earlier. So, but essentially, what we like to share is that we look at the examples of how a student in Indonesia is using AI to further her learning capability. And I think that's very touching, because I think using education is the only way out of poverty. Yeah, because when you have knowledge, you gain knowledge that allows you to improve on your life and begin the future because of what you know in your heart and in your head. So let us take to the next slide, please. Now, so this is actually quite interesting, something that I like to share. At Google, we believe that AI can provide new ways of approaching problems and meaningfully improve people's lives. With AI, we have another tool to explore and address hard, unanswered questions. For example, what if people can predict natural disasters like earthquakes or tsunami before they happen? How about tracking diseases like COVID-19 as it spreads? Where is the next area that it will go, and how do we eliminate such diseases much faster so that it does not impact people's lives or dramatically impact the lives of people with disabilities? I'm going to talk about that later. But AI can help, but it is not a silver bullet made to tackle every single problem. And but it requires a concerted effort, meaning that using AI and collaboration across different parts of the society. At Google, we believe that this can meaningfully contribute to the scale of our because of the scale of our products, our services that's available across the world, the investment in the AI research, and a commitment to use our technology and to keep on developing this technology in a responsible way. And I want to quote, in a responsible way, because technology, like I said, is a double-edged sword. You can use it in a good way, but you can also use it in a bad way. We are using AI for social good, to create things that they can improve people's lives. And it focuses our expertise to solve humanitarian and environmental changes. So our work through the program surrounds about core research and engineering efforts, empowering this social sector with tools, resources, and funding, while engaging partners across different parts of society to get the biggest impact. So for example, we will work with public health, we work with schools, we work with government in order to solve clean energy issues, to solve accessibility issues, people with disabilities, or how to respond in a crisis. So we believe that the ability to find these solutions relies on the expertise and the heart of the people across the world. And we in Indonesia have the ability to do that. So it does not matter where you are, but the technology, especially now, allows you to solve it wherever you are. So we have opened up research centers in many countries across the world. We are also partnering with NGOs, with the academy, with public sector like the government, to make sure that we have solutions that can help people across many sectors. So talking about how we're able to solve COVID-19 with AI, through a google.org. This is an organization which provides charity or donations, and with the university relations, we have awarded $8.5 million to 31 NGOs. And many of these are using AI and data analytics to help accelerate, first, how to trace COVID-19, and more importantly, to find ways to address this terrible, terrible disease in our times. And if you think about it, this is the biggest disease that impacts so many lives. I think many of us, whether personally, we have seen our families, our friends, our colleagues are deeply impacted by COVID-19. The faster that we're able to get our resources together using the technology to solve this, the faster is the path to recovery. And that is very important, not only to other countries, but I feel it very deeply for Indonesia. We need to be the country of resilience and growth. Indonesia tumbuh, Indonesia tangguh. So with that, I also want to talk about, next slide please, sorry, about this project Euphoria. And this is a very interesting way of using AI to help people with disabilities and how they are able to gain independence in their daily lives. And for some of us who have family members who have disabilities, you will feel this very deeply in your heart. And we were able to help people with this. Let's spread the happiness with technology. Let's roll the video.
Google has very good general speech recognition, but if you do not sound as most of people, it will not understand you.
No one's ever collected large data sets of people whose speech is hard for others to understand.
People who have multiple sclerosis, for GF, who had stroke, who stutter.
They're not used in training the speech recognition models. I mean, the game is to record things.
What's the temperature today?
And then have it recognize things that you say that aren't in the training set. Dimitri recorded 15,000 phrases. It wasn't obvious that this was going to work. He just sat there and he kept recording.
We need to make all voice interactive devices be able to understand any person who speaks to them.
You can see that it's possible to make a speech recognizer to work for Dimitri. It should be possible to make it work for many people, even people who can't speak because they've lost the ability to speak. The work that Shenxing has done on, voice utterances, from sounds alone, you can communicate. But there might be other ways of communicating.
Most people with ALS end up using an on-screen keyboard and having to type each individual letter with their eyes. For me, communicating is slow.
Steve might crack a joke, and it's related to something that happened, a few minutes ago. The idea is to create a tool so that Steve can train machine learning models himself to understand his facial expressions. To be able to laugh, to be able to cheer, to be able to boo. Things that seem maybe superfluous, but actually are so core to being human.
I still think this is only the tip of the iceberg. We're not even scratching the surface yet of what is possible. If we can get speech recognizers to work with small numbers of people, we'll learn lessons which we can then combine to build something that really works for everyone.
To understand and be understood is absolutely unbelievable.
Great. I hope that you feel, how AI or technology, let's talk about technology, is helping people with disabilities and allowing them to give us their thoughts, speak when they are not able to do that. And it's actually a very moving moment. So I think with that, I would like to close my speech today. I want to leave some time for the audience to ask questions. But I think one last thing, and which is very important for for us is that do not treat AI as something that you're afraid of. AI, as we see, is happening right now. It's not something that's in the future. All the technology that Google provides right now as we speak, whether it's Gmail, whether it's YouTube, Google Map, and many other things, it's already based on AI. So to us, for example, when you send an email using Gmail, you have proposed answers. There are 3 proposed answers, and you're able to reduce the time in answering those questions about the email. So that is already a technology based on AI. So to us in Google, it's not something in the future, it is now. And that is what is important, using AI and human knowledge to create a better world for all of us. So with that, thank you very much. I look forward to the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Ibu Mega, for your presentations. Very insightful, and I'm actually very impressed with the Project Euphonia. I think it can really empower the society, so I'm looking forward for the updates on that, actually. And I totally agree with you, Ibu Mega, that we should treat technology as our friend, not as a threat, because it will actually support us in our day-to-day basis, professionally, personally. It will really help us in every way possible. All right. Now we will head over to the Q&A session of today's Indosat Ooredoo Talk. I have scrolled through the comment sections and saw a lot of interesting questions. The first question is for Pa Medhad. Okay, Pa Medhad, how prepared is Indosat Ooredoo from using AI to help solving our needs faster and more effective in network service areas? All right, in network, Pa Medhad. Please, Pa Medhad, the screen is yours.
Thanks for the question. I think AI bring a lot of value in the network services domain for Indosat. For example, predicting the error. When we enable the AI capability in some of the radio and some other system, they are able to make analysis of many data points in the trend and predict the problem before it happening. For example, if you see declining in the power plant performance, so we can predict if there are the voltages decreasing step by step, so we can predict and send the team to interfere before the problem is happening. Also, we are targeting is called what zero touch operation. So it is not only predict the error, it is also predict the expectation of customer demand. So it helps us to improve the customer experience. So 2 aspects. One of the aspects in minimizing the outage and downtime of the network, so increase the availability, and also the experience by predicting the demand so that we are able to allocate resources to the customer where they are and whenever they demand. So there are one example of many other examples AI contribute in enhancing the network and IT services in Indosat Ooredoo.
All right. Thank you so much, Pa Medhad, for the answer. I'm pretty sure that is also why our CSAT and NPS is through the roof, because we can predict the outage, we can predict what customer needs through AI. Thank you very much, Pa Medhad, for your answer.
Thank you,
all right.
Thank you.
Next question for Ibu Mega. What are Google's ideas of future AI utilizations? We know that Alphabet has numerous projects. Recently, Facebook has launched Metaverse for their future AI projects. So what are Google's, Bu Mega? You know, besides Euphonia, is there any other projects for AI that Google is looking at right now?
Right. So as thanks for the question. But I think, like I said earlier in my closing statement, is for Google, AI is not something in the future. It is something that we're already using now as we speak. So a lot of the tools that you're using daily is actually based on AI technology. Yeah, when you talk about Google Map, YouTube, even on the search Google search, and a lot of that is actually based on AI already. So I want to also point out something specifically for Google Cloud. As you know, Google Cloud has a Jakarta Cloud region here, meaning that we are serving customers, whether they are government, whether they are state-owned enterprise, whether they are conglomerates, retail companies, healthcare, and then telcos in Indonesia. So we're very, very fortunate that we have launched a Jakarta Cloud region last year. So already celebrated our 1-year anniversary. And a lot of customers, whether they are enterprise traditional customers or digital native, are using some form of AI with us. So for example, if you look at one of our digital native customers, they're looking at different timings. We have different tariffs for different peak hours, and that kind of pricing capability is also based on AI. As you know, one of our key competency, because of a Google search legacy, is data analytics. As we're able to process all this data, that becomes the data pool for AI and machine learning. And that's how we're able to help our customers win even more in the market. And even also, not only for customers as an enterprise customers, but more so for their end user. They're able to enjoy faster service, lower pricing, better user experience. And with that, the end user will actually enjoy the fruits of AI through our Google Cloud customers. And the most important thing, like I said earlier, it is now. It is not in the future. All these capabilities that we talk about analytics are being enjoyed by customers already now in Indonesia. So it doesn't matter about our neighbors. I don't see that as a competition. I see that as good technology advances that allows us to improve people's lives. I think that's the key that I like to share. Thank you.
Apologies for the inconvenience and technical difficulties, but worry not. We are back with the most awaited questions for both Pak Medhat and Ibu Mega. All right, the last questions. We can see that robotic processing automations, or RPA, has replaced many jobs, such as HR payroll, accounting colleagues, and others. Watson predicts that there will be no drivers, no doctors, and even no lawyers in the future. So what can we do? Or what tools can we learn so we are still relevant in the future? All right, so maybe for this we start with Pak Medhat. Pak Medhat, do you have an answer to this? What can we learn? What can we do so we're still relevant in the future?
Thank you, Ibu, for the questions. Actually, as explained, AI will come with a threat and opportunity. Yet the threat of losing some jobs, especially for those repetitive jobs, as we explained. And coming now for long term, what tools, what need to be done, I think we can start on those attributes that differentiate human being from AI, which is curiosity, context, and empathy. And in the same time, we need to stay relevant. We need to learn the new technology. We need to adapt AI. We have IoT, we have cloud computing, so many technologies, open platform, coding. So the only thing that we don't, actually we cannot control the change. AI is around us, AI is there and will remain and it will be evolved. The only thing that you could be able to, first of all, improve yourself, always explore, learn, and be smart that focus on the area. You're gonna, whatever AI will be developed, it's gonna be, again, curiosity, context, and empathy. I think this is my recommendation for anybody to stay relevant to the market. And again, always AI will be next to the human being. It cannot replace 100%. We are the one who are program AI, who designs the AI, who develops the AI, who enhance AI. From that perspective, there is no specific tool or course to be taken. It is just keep continuous improvement journey, focus on what differentiates human from AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pak Medhat. So I totally agree with you. We need to keep improving ourselves, yeah? Because there are a lot of things that AI can't touch, which is, that's true, the context, curiosity, and also empathy. Totally agree with you, Pak Medhat. All right, thank you. All right, to Ibu Mega, do you have any take on this, Ibu?
Maybe I would say that I agree with Pak Medhat's comments on this. I think the only thing I would add, Bu, is that I think at the end of the day, human beings are I would say the highest level of creatures on the earth, right? We will always be valued for our creativity and compassion and our own capability to think out of the box. And those are the things that are actually very important. And I think those are the basis of how we're able to make things better. One thing that Pak Medhat talked about is to have continuous learning. Yeah, I think gone are the days whereby just to memorize something or just to I think the education system is something that we need to review in order to stimulate creativity, to stimulate doing something different. The old ways of memorizing things, that may not be the right way to educate people for the future needs. And that's why I think that the continuous learning, the continuous curiosity, and I think in something is very peculiar in Google, what we call googliness. Googliness is the curiosity to always learn and develop ourselves. And that is an important way in order not to be beaten by AI, but to actually to leverage and to improve things because of that. So and the other thing I'm also very happy to say is that in the coming months, we will be working very closely with Indosat Ooredoo to create very interesting and very attractive programs for the customers. So I will not go into details on how are those programs, but I can certainly assure you that these programs will help the end consumers, small and medium businesses, as well as enterprise customers. So we are partnering very closely with Indosat Ooredoo to make sure that we can create a better future for Indonesia. So let's wait for that very quickly, and we hope that you will join us in leveraging this technology to create a better future for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ibu Mega. Wow, really looking forward to the project, actually. It sounds really exciting, Ibu Mega. Looking forward to it. And I completely agree with you
Absolutely.
as well. Yes, yes, of course. It's always exciting projects that we have in Google. All right, so I completely agree with you that a lot of things that cannot be replaced by AIs, and also we have to continuously improve ourselves, explore creativity, explore compassions. Those are the things that cannot be replaced by AI. So we need to focus on that. Completely agree with you, Ibu Mega. Thank you so much, Ibu Mega. Thank you so much, Pak Medhat, for your answers. I hope that those answers address your curiosities on today's topic. Again, thank you very much for your time, Ibu Mega, Pak Medhat. Hopefully these insightful sessions will inspire our audiences, and see you next time around. All right. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sahabat Ooredoo. That wraps up our morning today. We have explored and discussed a lot on people and AI are teaming up. I hope you gained as much insight as I did, if not more. So next week, we will be having another awesome discussions concerning 5 years with 5G. Now that 5G network has entered Indonesia, we will have Pak Bayu Hanantasena and Pak Rizky Raksanugraha share their take on how 5G will bring Indonesia 5 years from now. So make sure you don't miss that out on the third episode of IoT 5 years with 5G. That's it for today. It has been a pleasure for me to host you in this Indosat Ooredoo Talk. See you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.